Jesus.
When was the last time you heard of heaven? When was the last time you were reminded that you are a sojourner on this side of eternity?
Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us. How? That we should be called the sons of God. That we should be called the sons of God. That I and you should be called the sons of God. That you and I should be called the sons of God. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon me. Behold, what manner of love my Father has bestowed upon me. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us. Oh, that we should be called the sons of God. That we should be called the sons of God. Recently, a brother sent me a link of a so-called father and mama in the Lord flogging an adult woman in the church. I searched for a longer video, but I could not see. But the caption was that this child of the woman being flogged by the pastor and the pastor's wife disturbed in the congregation. And so for that, the woman was painfully caned by the pastor and his wife, daddy and mama, in church. And so it got me thinking, how brutal can we be to ourselves? And how diabolic can we go? How low can we sink? Now, such thing is not possible if not because of some demonic influences that some persons have over others. And others is not actually demonic, but it is because they themselves are satanic, they are devious, and they've been able to entrench themselves in the soul of their fellow humans, and they have made themselves gods and kings and lords over the Lord's people. And the reason is not far-fetched. There is a message, a short message of Ebele Light that I would play. So you will understand that our attention has moved from the real thing to that which don't actually matter, or that doesn't matter so much. We are so consumed by our present desire and thinking that some men somewhere have the key to our happiness and emancipation, so-called, from our mental slavery. You know, when we envisage that there is a power somewhere that has caged us, and so we are in bondage, so to speak, and your freedom, your emancipation lies in the hands of a so-called papa and mama that secretly too are struggling with certain form of inhibition that they cannot let out to the public. And this is not me saying that pastors, ministers of the gospel are not needed. They are needed. But we need the true servants of God. We need those that are representatives of the kingdom of heaven, not those that are representing themselves and are running a business empire for Satan, and you are the customer, you are their clients, you are the customer. Because without you, they will run out of business. If not, how could this be possible? Take a look at this sad humiliation and painful dehumanization, I call it, meted out on a soul for whom Jesus also died. While Jesus was here on earth, he only picked up Cain, which for the first time, to go against those that have gone against the principles of the kingdom, and not those that came to listen to him. And Jesus said, "Nay, it shall not be so amongst you, that you shall not have one lording it over others." No matter who you are, we are equal in the sight of Jesus. Jesus is our equalizer. So nobody is actually anointed or elevated much more than the others. Grace might differ, but the owner of the grace, the giver of the grace, is the equalizer. That you have grace to move mountains, and I have the grace to sweep the house of God and clean the toilets and the chair. Now, I have the grace to do it and the humility to do that. Your assignment will not, no matter how great or big you think your assignment is, if I faithfully do that in the toilet where I have the grace to stay, clean the house where I have the grace to stay, on the day of recompense, the Lord will not look at your own office that has been so magnified by men and say, "Okay, come, you were very popular on earth, and this young man here was not so popular because he was sweeping the toilet and keeping those places clean and making the children of God who come into the sanctuary to have a safe place to ease themselves." So God will not look down on me, and as much as I did it faithfully. Get ready to be shocked, because on the day of recompense, there are those that are not known in your church that will be so elevated by God in reward and honor. Or if you don't know about reward, Apostle Paul said that he was ready to be offered, and there was a crown awaiting him. So every one of us, that crown is awaiting us. Now, the reward of the Lord will be according to how faithful we were while we were dispensing our services on earth. So your general overseer might be riding on jets, flying from Dubai to Mumbai, from America to Canada, from wherever, from Austria to Australia. It doesn't matter. And I may not have even left the church of my village, but I have been faithfully committed, serving the Lord in the little, whatever you call it, place where I have been confined. On that day, the Lord will reward my faithfulness, and will reward your faithfulness. So it is possible that if the rankings could be in stars, some very poor people that were not known in your church, those people you look down in your church may have better rankings than your general overseer that was jumping up and down, making so much noise, and you never wanted anybody to criticize him. Anyways, listen to this. Watch this video. It is disgusting. Some of you have seen it, but please, if you have not seen it, watch again. And even if you have seen it, please don't just go, because Ebele Light has something to tell you that you may have forgotten. A lot of us may not even have heard it. But before we get there, listen to this.
Jesus. Jesus.
Mama.
If anybody will be willing to go through this kind of humiliation that you have seen, just like a little child, when we were in the village in primary school in our days, that was when teachers actually used to discipline children. This was how they disciplined us in those days, and you cannot say anything. Now, for it to be brought into the church, all right, before you go berserk, those of you that will want to defend wickedness like this, why would the woman not have control over her child? Is because she's a bad mother. Shut up. Look at the age of that child. Was that not a failure in the part of the pastor, so-called pastor, if he's actually a pastor? Why not create a separate place of comfort for children where the children will stay and have their weight and do the things that they want to do, and have somebody supervise what they do there, and then leave the main auditorium for the adults? So if the child was feeling discomfort in any form, and there was no other way for him to protest and to show the mother, I'm not feeling comfortable in any way, what else would the child do? Maybe the child cried, or that the child left where the mother kept him and probably started running around in the church. How is that? What is it that a person would even do that will warrant this kind of a thing? Hey, my God. My God, my God. I have a daughter that I cannot remember when last I touched her, as in discipline her. My children. I can't remember when last I even, disciplined the youngest of them. And mind you that this was a person's wife, and it is possible that her husband was seated right there. Oh, daddy and mama. Look at the demon-possessed wife, going into the spirit. Eze. And from that nonsense, I guess to know that there are people from my tribe, except there is any other tribe that has that. Eze means king. It means that, the woman had desecrated and this, the temple of the king, allowed her child to desecrate the temple of the king by insulting the king. What nonsense. What nonsense. And there is nothing else that will keep a woman this humiliated, if not for, I can't leave. I can't leave. These are papas and our mamas. Maybe they've given her some form of prophecy. This kind of a place is hardly the house of God. This kind of people are hardly servants of the Most High God. It is very, very destabilizing. And the reason why people get trapped in this kind of places is because of interest. Now, our minds have been so messed up that we're not even thinking about the life after here. We're just concentrating on now. So when was the last time you heard about the life after now, and how have you been made aware that you need to prepare for that life after now? Now listen to this message by Ebele Light, and I sign off with this.
When was the last time you heard of heaven? When was the last time you were reminded that you are a sojourner on this side of eternity? When was the last time you heard of this place where there will be no more sorrow, no more shame, no more pain, no more sickness, no more adversity, no more mental illnesses, no more anxiety, no more despair, no more depression, no more natural disasters, no more man-made disasters? When was the last time you heard of heaven? And more important than that, I should ask, when was the last time you thought about it? When was the last time you were reminded that you were made for heaven? Is that not the reason why we recoil from suffering? Is that not the reason why we try to rewrite the Bible and make it so that we are insisting that God has promised us things that He did not really promise? Because if you think that your best life is on this side of eternity, you will live like it. You will live like that. So we judge God's pleasure by how good we have it, how good our flesh has it, how comfortable we are. And now obviously I'm not saying that God does not want to bless you, or God cannot bless you, or maybe God is averse to your material or bodily prosperity, because usually that's the straw man of the argument. You have people say, oh yeah, now let Christians be in abject poverty in order to prove that they are holy. And I think it's the silliest thing, because nobody's really saying that. Nobody's actually saying that. Nobody's actually saying that the way to validate holiness is abject poverty. But you see that language, that kind of talk. And let us all be destitute now to prove that we are really holy and we really love the Lord. That kind of talk is proof that an idol has you by the neck, unless God helps you. Do you know why? Because it is sarcasm that is masking a bigger problem. That problem is fear. You are so terrified that you have all these lofty plans for your life. You are so terrified that you want to be on this 40 under 40 list. You want to be this top CEO. You want to travel all around the world and do all of these things. That the thoughts that the will of God for you might look like you literally being fed by ravens. You know, we talk about Elijah and we speak of Elijah's glory, his power, how he called fire from heaven. That man was living, in today's language, the way we will put it, from hand to mouth. It's not a place we are encouraged to be. Do you understand? So you precious Holy Spirit, precious Holy Spirit, precious Holy Spirit, please help us. Please help us. Please help us. God, please. God, please. God, please. God, please. God, please. God, please teach us what it means to be Christians. God, please. God, please. God, please teach us what it means to be Christians. God, please break our hearts and bend our knees. God, please teach us what it means to be Christians. You are so terrified of this idea that the will of God for you might be a life that is less comfortable than you've imagined. A life that is not as affluent, not as influential. A life where you don't conquer the spheres of influence. You are offended by the thoughts. You don't want to hear it. God's will. Jesus has died for me, and this world is not God's best for me. Jesus has died for me, and there is a hope that is waiting for me in heaven. Thieves cannot touch that one. Adversity cannot touch that one. It's waiting for me. It belongs to me. My name is on it. Grief cannot touch that one. Thieves cannot steal that one. The economy cannot touch that one. Sickness cannot touch that one. This world is not God's best for me. I have a hope in heaven. I have a hope in heaven.
Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed. Okay, thank you. And God bless you. If you're thinking about God's kingdom, think about God's love. Think about how much He loves us, that He cannot humiliate us. That is why you don't need to listen to prophets that humiliates people in the open, in the name of the prophetic. Our God is not that wicked, is not that heartless. He's a loving Father. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God, that we should be called the sons of God. Shalom.